Rich Nelson with Allendale. We have a special update for you guys. Today's date is July 20th of 2018. Now we had two separate reports covering the cattle industry that came out at 2 o'clock this afternoon. In terms of numbers for the first report, cattle on feed. This is a monthly survey of feedlots. It tells us more about this coming medium-term supply, meaning supply over about the next maybe 4 or 5 months. The second report was simply called cattle, and that's the biannual survey of cow-calf producers. And that one gives us a big long-term perspective on what's going on with production at the base level, whether we're in expansion or contraction. Now, for the first of these two reports, the cattle on feed, this one showed, looks like 104.3, so 4.3% more cattle on feed as of July 1. As far as placements, 101.3, so 1.3% over last year in terms of placements. That's more or less considered neutral, but keep in mind last year was a big number itself. And as far as the numbers on marketings, what left feedlots in the month of June, looks like they came out at 0.9% over last year, which was pretty much right on the average trade guess as well. So for the most part, cattle on feed is neutral and doesn't give us any extra weightage lined up for the December through March period where these placements will be coming out. So for the most part, neutral there. Now the second of the two reports, like I mentioned, is simply called cattle. And this biannual survey of cow-calf producers showed the nation's cattle herd about 1.0% over last year. That was slightly over the average trade guess of 0.7% higher. Now as far as beef cow numbers, those were seen at 0.9% over last year. And looks like on the heifer numbers kept for the beef cow herd itself, that was came in at 97.9, so 2.1% under last year. Now the cattle industry has been in expansion here easily since 2014. The question on this report is, do we have evidence that we're slowing expansion and possibly moving to a stable environment? Maybe in a few years we can actually talk about liquidation going on. In terms of these numbers, well, as far as the beef cow herd, 0.9% over last year, but the beef heifers that are going to replace some outgoing cattle at actually 2.1% under last year. Bottom line is producers are taking action to stop and slow the expansion. It's certainly not happening yet, but it certainly will going into the 2019 time frame. That does not mean lower beef production, though, in 2019. We'll still have a little higher beef production. It won't be until 2020 that beef production actually stabilizes. So bottom line for these reports, cattle on feed is neutral. As far as the cattle inventory numbers, mostly neutral there. It does tell us a story that cow-calf producers are beginning the process of slowing expansion and certainly wanting to stabilize numbers. That'll probably be about 2 years before they're actually seen on the whole numbers as a whole. So any question about these reports, give Allendale a call, 1-800-262-7538.